Live trained.
Well, you understand that you strike with your feet. Next limbs that come from the biomechanics is your hips. How to generating power from your hips. Let's say now, let's get close. You guys gonna understand, we're in a close position. You know, a lot of people throwing just with their arms. You see, they're throwing with the arm. So the hip is not engaging. So how I'm gonna engage with my hip is simple. When I point, you see, I'm here, I point. Now I'm gonna engage, I'm gonna throw my hip first. My hip goes first, my hand goes last. So I'm here, I bend. See, I generating my hip. So when my hips are tight, everything is half. So when I'm generating my power, now my hips goes forward. Let's say I'm gonna throw an elbow, a spinning elbow. I step outside, you see, as soon as I step outside, I don't wanna step outside like this to turn. I wanna shorten up, so I'm here, I step here. You see, I'm almost like giving my back to Caesar. But as I'm spinning my elbow, I know I can go down, up, but you see my hip, I cannot lock my hip. I literally have to put my hip in. So I wanna put my hip, or even I wanna open my hip. So I like to drag. So you see, so I like to drag. So here, I like to drag. So when I do like a whip, and then I come completing, so I can go back to a single leg, so I can go back and forth. So every time I'm giving my back, my head, the first thing to look. If I'm doing the spinning, I'm here fighting with Caesar. If I'm gonna spin, as soon as I do this, I have to look first. So when I'm looking, my hip is, I have to use my limbs as my elbow, but I literally look to the target. Now I can go here, I can go down to a single leg, always be protected. So another way to using your hip in your kicks, I wanna do a side kick. I strike with my feet, I really open, I'm gonna do a side. So everything happens so fast. I open my feet here, now my hips are open, okay? I'm looking to go to his ribs. If I open here, I'm delaying the kick. So my kick has to be closed. So I'm thinking I have a sword and I wanna cut Caesar. If I go sideways, Caesar's gonna be able to defend. So the idea is when I'm kicking, I open, I strike with my feet, and now I'm gonna fake a punch. As you see, I'm faking a punch. So Caesar thinks it's coming a punch, and now comes a kick. So everything has meaning on when I'm doing something. So I strike with my feet, then I'm gonna strike with my hip, then I'm gonna fake a punch, and then I'm throwing the kick. So a lot of Thai fighters, they like to kick like this. They like to put their hand down. So here, Caesar can overhand my face. So when I'm punching or kicking, I'm always in protect and move. Why? I never know what he's doing over there. So I have to be able to do an offense, but also in defense mode. So the way I like to kick is, so I'm gonna strike with my feet, fake a punch, and throw the kick. You see, everything here is closed. So I can go to his hip, I can go to his leg, I can go to his head, and that's the side ones. So my hip is always striking second. So I strike with my feet, we're going with the motions called the hip. A lot of fighters have tight hip, so I encourage you to do a lot of stretching. We're gonna be showing how to release your hips. We're gonna have a lot of drills that I do myself, how I strengthen my hip, how I work with my hips. So it's a lot of ways of doing it with bands. But one thing I like you to understand, when you do something, feel your hips open and the attack goes from your hip. If it's a cross, if it's a hook, as you see, I strike with my hip. So I'm close to Caesar, I wanna throw a hook, I wanna go power. I don't wanna just throw my hand. So I wanna strike with my hip. Doesn't matter the position of it is. So that's what is striking with your hip for a second.
Live trained.